Hey, yo, we're back with another video. Time to show you some gameplay of me destroying them people like Rey Mysterio. Innit, Ben? He ain't interested. Anyway, as you can see by the title, you already know what this video is about. Move out my way, man. You already know what this video is about, yeah? And also, before we get into this, it would be much appreciated if you click that like button and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be uploading weekly from now on. So yeah, turn them bell notifications on as well. So let me go over the specialization and why I'm using it. So using the technician, we've got 50% skill power added onto our build. So that's what's really helping the boost of the skill power. We've also got another 15% increased SMG damage on there. So that's just increasing the damage even more. We've got this talent here, which is one of the main talents for this specialization. Equipped in a skill grants 50% bonus armor. When the skill dies, you recover 20% armor. Now that is just, to me, that's very good. That is a very good talent. And also we had to unlock this to enable this one here. We've got the Hive Talents here. Mod to increase the radius of the hive, and we got a mod to increase the recovery rate of the hive too. So as you can see, for this build we're running a 6-11-5. We've got 411k armor, 47k health, and we've got 2k skill power on the hive. As you can see, this is what the main thing for this build is the stinger. The stinger hive sends out micro drones that attack and distract nearby enemy targets. It applies bleed status effects on targets. So this here is what makes them bleed, trust me. As I said in my old video, niggas really be bleeding, trust me, they be bleeding. Let's get into the guns. So for the guns, I'm using an AUG. It's got 20.4k damage on it. The RPM is basically 800. So for the talents, this is very important. This is very important. You want to make sure, if you want to make a build like this, you want to make sure you get this talent on there. So sadist. Deal 30% weapon damage to bleeding enemies. After 3 kills, applies bleed to the next enemy you hit. I've also got Allegro on there. So you're going to see why this talent links with something else, which makes this build very good. Okay, so for the Chatterbox, as I said in the last video, my SMG clutch PvP build, if you haven't watched it, the link will be in the description for you to check that out. Please give that a like. And yeah, so for this, we're also using it for the talent, which is 15% rate of fire. So yeah, I literally just use the Chatterbox for the rate of fire, nothing else really. But yeah, let's get straight into the gear pieces. So we are running 3 Alp Summit, 2 Gila, and 1 Sokolov. Now, the reason why I'm running 3 Alp Summit here is because it gives me Hive skill power. It's got also 10% skill power on there. So for the chest piece, we've got attributes. We've got 41k armor. We've got 30% total armor. This is a really good chest. I got this literally just before I started recording, and I just rolled the 30% armor on there. It's also got Bloodsucker. Depleting an enemy's armor adds a stack of 25% bonus armor for 10 seconds. Max stack is 6. Only requires 11. The way I just said only, like it's a small amount, but yeah. So we got defensive mod slots in here. We've got 4k armor, we've got 2000 armor on kill, we've got 3% total armor. Utility mod slot on there as well. You want to make sure if you got utility mod slots, you want to make sure it matches to the skills you're using. So I've got Hive skill power on there, and I've got 125 skill power overall. Also, I've got another defensive mod slot there too. When equipped in defensive mod slots, you want to find ones that have total armor on it. It really does increase the armor by a lot. For the mask, we're running a Sokolov mask. The reason we're running this is because it gives us that 10% SMG damage to up it, and it does really help. You want to make sure you get one of these at least on your build. We've got on the attributes, we've got 4% crit chance. Now again, for this build, because we're using SMGs, and in the game right now SMGs are really good, they're pretty OP. You want to make sure you stack crit chance onto your builds when using SMGs. So you'll see after what my crit chance is, and you can get a rough idea of what you'd stack onto it. So we got 9k health on here as well, and we have 51% hazard protection. Now this hazard protection is going to help you when it comes across to other people that is also using bleeds, etc. For the talents, I'm using 30% health and kill. I would rather have, so for the main talent on the mask, I've got 30% health and kill, but I would rather have 30% hazard protection, just like this mask here. So insulated, I would rather have that. But obviously, to keep my damage up, I want to use a Sokolov mask. So yeah, that's what I'm running with for this build. For the holster, we're on an Alp Summit holster. We've got 13.5k crit chance on there, and for the main talents, we've got surgical, which gives you an extra 10% crit chance as well. So as you can see, I'm really stacking crit chance in this build. Trust me, it's worth it. For the mod slots, we've got a utility and an offensive. We've got 1% weapon damage on there and SMG damage on there too. And for the utility, we've got 116 skill power on there. For the knee pad, we're running another Alp Summit. It's got 6.5 crit chance on the attributes, and the talent, it has N powered, which is 20% skill power. Now, this talent is very, very good. If you're using this build, you want to make sure you have at least N powered on here. I'd say if I didn't have this talent on this build, the build wouldn't work the way it works right now. So yeah, you want to make sure you get that on there. I've got defensive mod slot on there too, and a utility. It's got 4k armor. We've got 3% total armor, which is really good. And we've got Hive skill power in there as well. For the glove, we've got a Gila glove, which gives 2-piece, which gives 5% total armor and 20% hazard protection. So as you can see, I'm also stacking my hazard protection. You know, this is going to really help my build. So the attributes here, we got 8k health and we got 6% SMG damage. Now I would really like to up the SMG damage on here. It's a bit too low. I like to have at least 12% SMG damage. You know, to max it out, that would really help this build improve a lot. But here, this talent here called Wicked. When you apply a status effect, gain 15% weapon damage for 20 seconds. Not 10 seconds, not 5 seconds, not 2 seconds, 20 seconds. Now that is a lot of time. So all I have to do with this, I drop my hive, it makes them bleed. When I shoot them, I gain 15% weapon damage for 20 seconds. To improve this glove, I could put Perfectly Wicked on there, but it's on another glove. As you can see here, 20% weapon damage instead of 15. But because of how I have my build set out, I cannot roll Perfectly Wicked onto here. I would have to get a new glove which has it on it already, so yeah. For the bag, we're running another Gila bag. It's got attributes, we've got 5.5% health, we've got 22k armor on there, and we've got 433 skill power. Now for this build, you want to make sure you have at least one attribute with skill power on your gear piece. You know, because that's what's going to push it up to about 2k skill power max. If you have it exactly how I have it, you want to make sure you have at least one skill power attribute on your gear piece. For the talents, we've got Hardened on there, which is increasing the armor. That really helped out the build. We've got Safeguard on here, but it's not active. So I'd rather have Efficient on here. This one here, which is using an armor kit, has 50% chance not to consume the armor kit. So I could be popping my armor kits and my armor kit's not running out. It gives me a 50% chance not to consume it, so that would help out a lot. Or I could use another one, but I'm not too sure what else I would use on this build, to be honest. So yeah, that's what I would change it to. Now, as I said before, the main things on this build is the Specialization, the talent on the gun, and Wicked. Them three just work crazy. So, you know, it's sadist. It's 30% weapon damage to bleeding enemies. And then we got Wicked, which works with it. When you apply a status effect, gains 15% weapon damage. So that's an extra 45% weapon damage onto your build by just using them two talents, Wicked and Sadist. So for the crit chance, we have 58.5% crit chance. And that is very high for this build. I would like to get my crit damage up here. It's pretty low. So yeah, I'd like to push that up a bit, but for now, this is how I'm running it. So the overall weapon damage for this build is 20k, as you can see. And for the main SMG, we've got 33% damage bonus on top of that as well. And including Wicked and Sadist. Trust me, you've got a lot of damage on this build. For our hazard protection, we're sitting on 71%. That's really going to help when it comes against other players using bleed and all them other things. Don't get me wrong, this is not a perfect build. This is nowhere near a perfect build. There's a lot more I can improve on. I'm thinking of, you know, doing an updated version of this when I fully optimize it. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. Please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for weekly Division content. Oi, you, brother, you still ain't subscribed. You gonna go do that now, yeah? Alright, cool, I appreciate that. No, wait, where you going? Don't back out the page yet. Like, yeah? You liked it? Yeah, alright, cool.
out of action.